Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Zotero series. If you haven't seen part 1, please click up here to watch that first. In this part, we're going to see how we can read, highlight, and annotate PDFs in Zotero, and also how we can use the Zotero Microsoft Word plugin to generate citations and the reference list for us. Let's take a look. Okay, so next I'll show you how you can read and annotate PDFs inside of Zotero itself. I know some people much prefer reading things physically, like printing them out, printing out the articles and marking them up with a pen. No problem there. But for those of you that don't mind reading on your screen or on your iPad or something like that, I'm going to show you the way, sort of my workflow. I like reading things actually inside of Zotero itself because then it keeps everything nice and contained in one place. I like things kind of organized like that. So I added a new article here, and I'm just going to double click on it. I'm going to double click on the PDF to open it inside of Zotero. And you can see up at the top, there are two tabs. So I still have my tab here for my demo collection. And now I have the article itself. Let me just scroll all the way up here. So I have my article and we can start reading. And so let's say I'm reading the abstract and oh, I really like this sentence. So I can just highlight it with my mouse. And let's say, it'll present me with those 5 colors that I can use to highlight. I'll do another highlight here, something like this. And maybe I want, so you're going to have your own system, right? Maybe red means a particular, like a new idea. Maybe purple means something to look into in the future. Let me go on the second page here and I don't know, maybe something, this big passage here I'll highlight. And you can see as I'm highlighting, they're showing up on the left-hand side, page 1, page 1, page 2. And I can even, just like how you would mark up the let's say the margins if you were reading this physically, I can actually click on one of the highlights that I've made. And over here, I can add a comment to it. So I can say, check this out later, something like that. Or let's say on page 1 on this red one, I can say great new idea to explore. So you can see you can attach these notes to your highlights. And what's cool is that if I want to quickly jump to this green highlight, I just have to click on it here on the left and it'll jump me right to that place in the article itself. And there's a little icon over here too telling me that there is a comment associated with this highlight. So that's one way to annotate. Another cool way is, let's say there is a diagram or a figure that you want to make a note of, something like this. So on the top center here, there's a few different tools. I'm going to use the select area tool, this one, and I'm going to draw a box around this figure. And it'll basically save anything. So anything that I sort of, this box encompasses will be sort of saved as an image here by itself. So again, I can also add a comment saying, interesting figure. Go figure. Okay. So you're reading and you're marking up and you're highlighting, and you have created all of your sort of annotations here on the left. Maybe you would like to import these or copy these into Word, into an assignment that you're currently writing. So the way that you can do that is you're going to go back to your collection. And so we know that for this, so it's this article that we were just highlighting, tracking students' cognitive processes. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to click on this option that says add note from annotations. So all those annotations that you made, it's going to create a new note with all those annotations. So you can see on the right hand side here, we have this first quote that I highlighted, and my sort of comment is right after it. Great new idea to explore. And we can also see here the figure now saved as an image. So what we can do if we want to, so I can usually what I do is on my keyboard, I hit Control A to select everything. You could also do it with your mouse. I find it easier using the keyboard shortcuts. So Control A to select everything, Control C to copy, or similarly, you can right click on everything and click copy that way. Then I'm going to open Word. So I have Word open here on the left, and I'm just going to paste in those annotations there. So now, it tells me, what article or the authors here, the year. So basically it tells me where I got this quote from, and it also gives me my note here, and then I can extrapolate on this as I'm sort of writing my assignment. So I find that kind of a nice little workflow, you know, importing my stuff into Zotero, reading it, highlighting it, making my notes there, and then I can bring everything into Word and then start actually working on my assignment that way. So one thing you may have noticed is at the top here, I actually have some Zotero options. You'll see I'm using the Zotero menu in Word. So Zotero has a word integration. And why this is useful is because we can use the power of Zotero, the reference managing part of Zotero, to bring that into Word so that we never have to actually write out another list of references or citation sort of manually ever again. So I'm going to show you how to do that because I think it's really cool. And it just kind of it tightens everything up and it makes everything more consistent, I find, so that things are not sort of subject to manually having to type everything out. So just for now, I'm actually going to get rid of I'm going to get rid of all this stuff that I'd pasted in. So we're just pretending like I'm working on an assignment. And we can say, well, actually, before I get into it, I'll show you actually, if you don't see this Zotero sort of menu at the top in your Word, back in Zotero itself, what you probably will have to do is you go to Tools and then go to Add-ons. You're gonna see I have a few add-ons that I use, but the one that we want to look at here is Zotero Word for Windows integration. It'll probably be the same thing for Mac. It'll say Zotero for Mac integration. I believe there's a Mac version as well. I already have mine enabled, which is why mine says disable here, but yours is probably going to say enable. So you're going to click on that. You may have to restart Zotero. You may have to also restart your Microsoft Word. So go ahead and do that. Once you do, you will see this Zotero menu appear in your Word at the top. And it gives us just a couple of options here. So let's say you're writing and you want to say something like, here, let me change this back to, maybe if let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's go, where are my styles? Normal, okay. So I'll say something like, so maybe something that you would write is Krathwohl 2002 states, maybe I'll write states that Bloom's taxonomy is awesome. Definitely not academic level writing here, but I'm just making a point. I'm demonstrating. So what we want, so this is a perfectly fine way to do it. This is probably the way you've been doing it up until now. You just sort of manually type the author's name and you have to kind of look up, when did they write that article, and then type out the year of the article there. What we could do, and actually if I'll give you another example. Maybe we want something like this. So you sort of make the claim that Bloom's taxonomy is awesome, and then at the end you want to say Krathwohl, right? So you want to make that citation. So two styles of doing citations. So the way to do this with Zotero is, and let's say that okay, how about I'll put in a line there, and then below this line, here, I'll put in a line. Okay. Never mind about the line. Here's how we're going to achieve the same thing. Instead of doing it manually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Bloom's taxonomy is awesome. And now that I want to put in the citation, I'm going to go to Zotero. I'm going to click on Add or Edit Citation. And it's going to bring up this little, this little search bar here. And I can type in Krathwohl. Yeah, so so you can see that I have two listed here. That's just because I have two separate Krathwohls in my collection. So I'll pick one of them, and then I'll just hit enter. And so you'll see, I mean, on the surface, nothing different really happened. We still have, this one still looks the same as this one. But the cool thing is, so this is, remember, this is the Zotero citation. And this is the regular citation, or like manual citation. So if I go back to Zotero here, and if I go to my Krathwohl, let's say that, we actually found a mistake, and actually the author isn't Krathwohl, but the author happens to be Singh. And if we go back to Word, here, so what we can do is we can click on this refresh button at the top, and you'll see now the Krathwohl turned into Singh. And this is just one citation, but imagine you had, pages and pages of where you were sort of referencing Krathwohl, maybe a dozen times. This would replace every single instance of Krathwohl with the proper author. So this is nice in case, maybe there was a typo, or for some reason the information wasn't correct in Zotero. It usually doesn't happen, but maybe you had to manually correct something. Then you don't have to sort of go in and fix every single one manually, or do a find and replace. Zotero takes care of everything for you. So I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna change this back to Krathwohl, and I'll go back to Word. I'll hit refresh again, and you'll notice, so this Singh here will turn back into Krathwohl. So it's nice because it syncs the references that way. So let's say we're writing more stuff, and we want to bring in another citation, Beringer or Berliner. We can put that there, writing more stuff, and stuff is awesome. I'm very original with my demos. So you're having your citations everywhere. At the end, the last thing you have to do, right, is that bibliography. Ugh. How annoying is writing out every single reference in the bibliography? Now with the power of Zotero, all we have to do is we can say add or edit bibliography. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all the citations that you put in with Zotero, and I just got to click one button here, and bingo. There's my bibliography. I can just say references here. Let me bold that and center it. Incorrect APA 7 form. You can double, it's always good to double check it, but I've never run into any issues. So we have, the title, the journal, the issue, volume, the page number, and the DOI. Also note that the correct use of the hanging indent as per APA 7 specifications. So, and again, this is really nice because you don't have to write out a thing, and as you sort of go in and make edits, maybe you actually don't want to reference Berliner at all. You said, actually, never mind, I'm gonna get rid of that. You can hit refresh, it'll get rid of that citation. Or if you decide to change that, and let's say put in, let's look for Dewey. Do I have any Dewey? Do I have Lynn? Here we go. So we put in that, and we can see actually it automatically updated the references list as I put in the citation, which was cool. So yeah, everything's there for you. Never write out a manual reference ever again with the power of Zotero. This is how I work. This is how I really like to work. I find that it saves me a lot of time, and I hope that it saves you a lot of time too. And there you have it. I hope you learned a few things about Zotero so that it can make your MTP life that much easier. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't seen the other videos in this series, I recommend clicking the link up here to take you to the whole playlist to catch up on any videos that you haven't seen. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching.